Welcome, Rachel. I am so happy to have you here, and I'm so happy to introduce you to just everybody and your amazingness and who you are. What an honor to have this conversation with you. I'm so excited. This is going to be so good. I'd love you to just share who is Rachel and what does Rachel do?
Thank you, Christy. This is fun. We've known each other a long time, so this is fun to be here in this capacity and be jamming in this way. I am Rachel Barbaro. I'm an executive coach, I'm an organizational consultant, and I have built really beautiful business over the last 5 years where I get to work with leaders, I get to support leadership teams, I get to support organizations and help them transform their teams, their workplace culture, and take leaders from being, meh and just kind of competent to really being magnetic. So I feel very privileged to do what I get to do every day.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And you're a mom of two, present mom, incredible wife, incredible happy, healthy human also along the way, just to know too, which is, I think your level of intentionality in every aspect of your life is what makes you so good at what you do and such a model for your clients is, you have that deep intention in every area of your life, you know?
Yeah, I think I've done I mean, you've been privy to some of the messiness of it. Like I've done my work. Like
Yeah.
I always keep doing my work and I've done my work and life keeps lifing me and my beautiful kids. My oldest is almost a preteen and my youngest is 7. And my kids keep teaching me how to remother myself and how to mother them and expand my capacity. And to quote you, because you said this to me, Christy, like you're never done. You're never done working on yourself, right? And I think um, I've known that about, I'm in my mid 40s now. I've known that about myself since my 20s, but it was only when I launched my business in my late 30s where I was like, oh wow, like we're not playing anymore. Like this is it. Like this is the
Yeah.
big leagues. Like this is life.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, it's so true. And I feel like business is the greatest portal, into your life. And so I know we'll definitely get into that. I would love you to just share. Obviously, we've had such a journey of working together. I think about, oh my gosh, it's so fun to like reflect back. So I'll share a little bit and then I would love you to share. When we started working together, I believe over 3 years ago, three and a half.
This was really
Okay.
little. Like I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. So like, yeah, and when we work together, I think what's so cool about Rachel's journey is she worked with me when before I had touched business coaching, and but I wasn't even doing business coaching. I was doing more like inner coaching and leadership coaching, and you came to me as your gift to yourself. I think for your some birthday for yourself, you're like, I'm gonna gift myself this coaching. Will you just share the journey from where you are to now having this incredible business and being an incredible leader and just freaking killing it on all facets. Um, wow. I know it's a lot of time to cover, but I trust you will do it.
I'll do it, girl. I got you. Yeah, I think I gave it as a gift to myself for my 39th birthday. I think it
Okay,
was.
yeah.
And I had, I had had a corporate career when I left. It had been 19 years, and I was in a pretty senior leadership role, and I was just feeling like something was off. I was feeling unfulfilled, and I was also struggling really, I'll be really real and really vulnerable with like really debilitating anxiety, where I was like, body was tensed up and I was on edge, and I was just feeling like, ooh, like just I felt the weight of the world. I felt the weight of every difficult conversation with my husband or my kids or my team. And like I was operating at a very senior level in a big organization. And I came to you for embodied leadership coaching. And whew, what a ride.
Such a ride. Such a ride. And just to like fast forward, where are you now in your life, in your business? I mean, I don't, when we started, I don't even think you were planning to even
No.
have a business. That was not even the intent. I think just the work made you come more into like alignment with what you really wanted and then realizing, oh my God, I can do this as a business. But so where are you now? And then we'll go more into it.
Yeah, so now today I have my own business. I have a business that I've had for many, many years, and I am doing really well. I'm making more money than I was in my corporate job. I have huge impact on like, oh my God, like the clients I work with, the organizations I work with, my ability. You know, when I started my business, I was like, am I going to have impact? Like I was a leader. I was like a big deal. I had a corner office. I had an assistant. Like it was a bit of a bit of a stab to my ego when I left and I started building my business from the ground up. And throughout that whole journey, Christy, it was just like I had belief in myself and I was like, I have a mission and I have a gift and like I'm here to do something. There was just this like galloping horse, this like fire within me where I was like, just keep going one step in front of the other. Like you're gonna build it, like you're gonna do it. And for me to look back and like the income numbers that I'm hitting, the freedom that I have a group leadership program called the Empowerment Club that I run a couple times a year that I'm just launching my intake for my spring program where I get to support incredible leaders and founders in their businesses, build confidence, regulate their nervous system, lead like a coach, empower their teams. And then when I collaborate with organizations, I have huge impact across like the culture on the leadership team, how a leadership team goes after a big goal, the employee life cycle in an organization from like recruitment to retention and development and positive offboarding. It's such a privilege now for me to have such big impact on so many different humans and organizations. Like it is a privilege, it is an honor. And then as a mom, for me to have the flexibility to say like I'm taking this day off. We're going to the aquarium with a grade two class. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
ask anybody permission. Like, that to me
Yeah.
is feminism. Like, that to me is the greatest evolution of like, oh, I'm going to cry. Like, how much power and how much impact women can have over their own lives, over their own destinies. Like, that's been the greatest gift.
So amazing, Rachel. Oh my gosh. It's like so fun to reflect on your journey because I remember when, like going from just doing coaching to then going, wait, I could actually do this on my own. I'm like, yeah, you can. And then I started moving into business coaching. I was like, hey, I got programs where I'm actually teaching people how to do this. And you're like, okay, I'm in. And, it's just, you've been in my world. No matter what I was doing, you were doing it. And it's interesting because I've said this from the beginning, but just the level that you've been able to move your business at the speed in which you've been able to do it, to work with like incredible companies like Deloitte, like just so many incredible, and doing workshops for banks and being paid thousands of dollars for like your time for a workshop. Like it's like how much progress you have made in the amount of time. Because really, you've been doing this for like, I would say really full time for what, like 2.5 years, 3 years,
3 years full time, 3 years. I was
3 years.
kind of building behind the scenes for a couple of years and coaching one on one when I could to get my ICF hours, and then, but I've been like almost 3 years full time. Yeah,
Almost 3 years.
which
Yeah,
is wild.
it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And if you don't mind sharing, like what was last year in business and what were you doing last year in business?
Like in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last year I did 250. I did 250 and feeling like no, I did 230. I lied. I did 230. Something paid in January and honesty and integrity is so important to me, so I did
Yeah.
230
It's
Canadian.
amazing.
And I was partnering with organizations, working with leadership teams, working with a small number of leaders one on one and running my group program Lead Empowerment Club. Like I was doing everything that I wanted to be doing, and I hit my financial goal for the year, and that was like incredible. And then now we have this, we're in February. We have this new beautiful year stretching out ahead of us, and I get to go after a new goal and a bigger goal. And I remember I was in LA with you a couple of months ago, and you were pushing me. You were like, you're just gently pushing me. You're like, what's the goal for 2026? Like, what's your version of wealth? What's your version of success? And it was like, okay, there's a new number that I want to hit, and I only want to work, 4 days a week. Like I only want to be client facing 4 days a week. I want more time for reading. I want more time for creating. Use my kids, refining my programs to get coached.
Yeah.
Like you're still coaching me. I'm still getting support from you. Like I do not think, Christy, I would have you've held me through like the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship where I like really doubted myself. I don't know if I can do this. The complexity of some of the business deals I had to negotiate.
Yeah.
My husband, I'll share very vulnerably, my beautiful husband I've been with 16 years. wasn't sure if he wanted me to be an entrepreneur. And like you
Yeah.
helped us work through that. Like you really
Yeah.
did. You held me as I held him, being like, no, I can do this. You're just scared. And it's okay to be
Yeah.
scared, right? So
Yeah.
you have been, I owe you just like a debt of gratitude because you have been such a support to me over the last couple of years. Huge.
Oh, I will. It's an honor. It's such an honor, and you are just such an incredible person, and you're so easy to give to, Rachel. Really, you are. Yeah, it's really special, and you just like take it. Like, it's like you have your moments, and there's moments like, we've talked so much about like there's realness in entrepreneurship, and you take the learning and the feedback and you tap in and you use it, and then you just do it. You integrate really quickly. I also notice of from challenge to like, okay, solution, from challenge to solution. Okay, we're hitting this in the business. Okay, this is happening with the kids, the husband, what's happening. And then, like, how do you actually move with that and use it? And I mean, it's amazing. Like, just to say, like, year 3 in the business to be where you are. And now, what I love is now we're talking about like conversations that most people earn having at like year 7, 8, 9 in their business of like, how do you work less and how do you do it more in a way that you love and that's scalable? And, it's like now you're building that and like getting incredible recognition from so many companies and coming more into your own mastery of, oh,
Yeah.
I really want to teach them also how to coach their leaders and what's really different. Like, I've just watched you as the business has gone up and up and up. It's also like you as a person have really come into your mastery of what you're really good at and what you rise into. And I also know in a lot of ways I've been like, okay, Rachel, what do we focus on? What are you building?
I was
Not
like,
over there.
I was like,
Like,
a
rein
freaking
her in.
girl with a nut. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Remember all those times that I'd be like, Christy, you were right. I'm so tired. Why'd I do all those different things?
Yeah. Sometimes I gotta let you just find out. I can tell you, my mom always says, like, you can tell anybody anything, but you also have to let them have their experience. But I also remember like last year, that was, I think, a really big conversation because, we were talking about money and growing more, but also really wanting more spaciousness in your life and more time and more flexibility. And that also came with like, don't try to do everything. Like, just do what you're really good at and just dial it in. And like, what you do is so incredible. I'd love you to just share like what have been the huge parts of your journey that have been just so helpful for you in the business journey and the evolution of it.
I think number one, you know, having that, like tapping into that fire, that essence, that little glimmer, that spark in you that you're like, I want to do something different. For anybody who's an employee, like I was an employee for 19 years. If you're like, I want to do something different, I want to be independent, I want to run my own consultancy, my own practice, my own coaching, like listen to that part of you. Like, and what you see in other people, they're just showing you the way. They're just showing you the path. Like, if you find yourself in jealousy of others, like, they're just showing you that it can be done. And that is living proof that you can do it as well. I think having consistent support, like having like therapy, like I have best friends who are also entrepreneurs who I've gotten
Yeah.
even closer to over the last couple of years. Like, you know who these women are. Some of them have worked with you.
Mhm.
Like, having your support circle, having your tribe, having your people that will like build this like little nest around you of
Yeah.
like, I believe in you, I got you, I hold you. And like, don't be afraid to show your mastery. Don't be afraid to show who you are. I'll walk into a room with 20 executive leaders and I'll tell them all to close their eyes. Like, I have
Yeah.
no problem being a little bit woo, being a little spiritual.
Yeah.
Like, I had a big corporate career. I briefed
Yeah.
big politicians. I've been a media spokesperson, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes when I walk into a room and I get paid a lot of money to be there and strategize and coach and help people step into, you know, better collaboration and more effective leadership, what everybody really needs to do is just close your eyes for 30 seconds and tap into what needs to happen today. Like, I think
Yeah.
me owning my mastery and saying I can be a little bit spiritual and woo. I can be super corporate and masculine and aggressive and like letting it all come together for my unique brand and my unique mastery. Like, that's probably what unlocked for me deeper levels of fun and also income in my business.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, I see that with you. And I see how much it's like been and it's a dance, right? When you're working, especially like in the corporate space, how to, I know one of the big things that we have also done is looking at how do you position yourself in corporate, but then also bring through what your mastery is and who to connect with and how to do it all in a way that feels, so that's the thing I've seen in you, which is very similar to my journey in business, is it's like there's that drive, that hunger for business. And the hunger is, yes, I always say like numbers and all of that, that's great, but it's like the hunger is like you just keep breaking through yourself in deeper and deeper and deeper layers, and it's like the greatest reward of them all.
100% it is. It's like the inside of this like delicious cookie. Like you're just
Yeah.
getting to like more and more layers. You're just peeling back the layers. And I think like even today, I had to make a decision a couple hours ago if I wanted to go do an event that would take me away from my family for 5 to 7 hours on a Saturday. Would my target audience be there? Absolutely. And I almost said yes. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then 3 hours later today, I was in a call with a big corporation that wants to hire me to be a keynote speaker on a panel of an evening event in Toronto, a 20-minute drive from my house. So, okay, so that's an easy yes. But I think even a year or 2 years ago, I would have been like, okay, yes, okay, yes. And I think, worth wounds, especially for women, depending on your lived experience and everything, blah, 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 like worth wounds, I think can show up so quickly in business. And like that was something that I had to really work on in the first year. I know we did a lot of inner work on that. And I think it's
Yeah.
also really common.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And it's that balance between your enoughness and feeling your enoughness as a woman and feeling all of that. And also like having the strategic, I feel like one of the big things, especially in the last like 6 months, we've really worked on with you is also very strategically running your time and running your business and getting more selective around what you say yes to, what you say no to. What do you feel like on a strategic level have been the biggest things that have really helped you in the business?
Oh my gosh, investing in support. So I have two people working for me now, and you got me to hire support, hire an assistant before I totally felt ready or felt I
Yeah.
felt and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful because now I've been with my executive assistant for over a year and I can just like give her things to run with and she calls me on my shit. Like I met with her this morning. Like
Yeah.
having that support I think has been really key. The um the ability to say no to something and know that something better is going to come along. For me also the work that I do with organizations to work with less people but charge more and work at a deeper
Yeah.
level. That's also been really fun because then I can have bigger impact and also learning in terms of clients and prospects, just because somebody says no, it doesn't mean that it's going to be no in 6 months or a year, and doesn't mean that it has anything to do with me. It's just my services weren't working for them at that time. And also, as an entrepreneur and as a salesperson now, a salesperson who really always looks at sales as I am going to be of service to you, I'm
Yes.
not going to let you go until you say no. If you say no,
Yeah.
absolutely. But for me, I'm thinking about you until I hear a no, right?
Yeah.
Like that's been the biggest thing that I've learned from you is how to do sales in integrity.
Yeah. That's so good. That is so good. Yeah, and it's true. And it is that, I feel like for you and your journey in the beginning, it was more like working with a lot of one-on-one clients, kind of like taking whoever came. And then, I always say like you graduate to your next level. You get to be selective. You start to think about who do I want to work with and what type of leader and what do I say yes to and who am I attracting? And then you earn the next level of like now you're doing more like workshops and keynotes and
Yeah.
you're the empowerment club, which is like your program for leaders. And it's amazing how it's like every step you've just like graduated your steps, really quickly, honestly, compared to how a lot of people do it. And I think that because of the sales and also your integrity and your ability to like connect with people, that you've just been able to move very quickly. And I know one of the big things that we've had to also talk a lot about is how you navigate these deals and conversations and hold like, keeping the rapport between you and another person, but still being really selective of what you say yes to and what you say no to, which is like such a dance in communication. But I actually would love you to also share more of like, what do you love? Like, how is this impacting your life? Like with mom and wife and being a human, how is business bled into those areas?
Oh my God, so many areas. Like I remember years and years ago when I left my corporate role, and anybody who knows me professionally or knows me on LinkedIn knows this. Years and years ago when I left my corporate role, I left to pursue my ICF coaching credential because I do a lot of work in the corporate space.
Yeah.
And my oldest son had also been diagnosed with very pronounced dyslexia. He was really, really struggling. He also has low vision. And for that first year, I did my training. I had one-on-one clients, and we did vision therapy. We did a million dyslexia tutoring sessions a week. I was like, I will teach this kid how to read. If I push a rock up a mountain, like my boy will learn how to read. And it was deeply challenging for me. And I, but because of that catalyst of my son getting those two diagnoses with his vision and a dyslexia, it pushed me to take that move away from corporate, to build my business, to support him, to almost do it as a test. I wasn't sure if I was going to go back or not.
Yeah.
And then I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I birthed this third baby. I birthed this business.
Yeah.
And oh my God, like I remember a year in, my son was like, Mom, I'm gonna cry. My son was like, Mom, I Googled you today at school. I looked up your name and he's like, You help so many people. He's like, It's so cool what you do. I read what people say about you who work with you. And I was like, Oh my God, as a mom to then have my son, that was such a full circle moment for me. I was like, wow, like that's incredible that he sees me that way. Like probably one of the coolest experiences of my life. My definition of wealth has totally changed. Like, I still like nice things, but I mean, handbags and really fancy dinners, like, don't do it for me anymore. Like, working with the clients and the organizations I really want to have impact with, that works for me. And me, you know, having the scalability and the space in my business to show up for my husband and for my kids and for my family and my bigger community, like that to me is like the greatest marker of success. And teamwork, I don't really think I knew what vulnerability was in my marriage until I would say to my husband, like, I'm trying to build this business, like, what do you think? And there was, layers and complexity there. And
Yeah.
like the level of vulnerability that I have now with my husband, him supporting me as an entrepreneur and me learning to really ask for what I need, meet my own needs, but then also see him as a resource. That's just like it's layered in this whole new level of like just like honesty and rawness and vulnerability in my marriage that is really beautiful.
So beautiful, Rachel. So, yeah. And I also just want to emphasize like what you were saying with your kids, like the thing that I feel like is so touching also about you and just like being a part of your journey and, just a part of every step of it is also how much like you have taken so much responsibility to show up as a leader at home and not just lead in your business, but like be, am I regulated with my kids? Am I present with my kids? And we've had conversations like, wow, there was moments where the business was that there was that conflict. And it's like, okay, we got to change things. Like this is not, it's very clear what the priority is, right? And it's like this business only works if you can show up like that as a mom and as a wife and as a human being. And I just really want to emphasize like that's something you have done so well is like really honoring the type of mom you wanted to be and stay regulated and come back to yourself and have capacity. There's so many people who can have a successful business, but they don't have capacity for their families. And you do. And you keep making more and more and more of it. And I also feel that as much as we hold the standard of business, you've also really held that standard at home of how you expect yourself to be. And if you can't be that, like we got to move, we got to change some things, which we have. Like we've pivoted things along the way because it's like that can never be jeopardized. And I just want to emphasize like that is, you've led that consistently. And that's been a North Star for you, I feel like, through all of this.
100%. And like, the family and the kids are the most important. And there's moments where this week I'm, maybe working till 5 or 6 a couple nights. So in the morning I have a lighter morning so I can be present. And like my youngest and I, we like made a tray and we sat and watched the birds in the backyard and like ate our breakfast sitting looking at the back of our house like from our family room today. Like I had that moment with him because I wasn't, in a meeting until 10:30 or 11 this morning. building, being present for the moments and building them really intentionally, as opposed to just, I think, previously and years ago, I would just sort of react to the scatteredness of my life and putting everybody else's needs before mine. Like, I meet my own needs in the morning before the kids even wake up. Like, I have time to meditate, I have my morning practice, I have a cup of tea, and then I'm like, okay, world, okay, kids, I'm ready for you. And I often say to myself in the morning, okay, how can I be of high service to myself, to my family, and then everybody else, right?
Totally.
And in my early
Totally.
years of business, there was moments in the beginning where I did have waves of scarcity and of like putting the business before everybody else, myself and my family. And then, alarm bells went off for me that this isn't right. And with your support, I was able to really tweak that.
Yeah. It's so, so incredible. And I feel like that's like the biggest win. That's why I love you sharing your journey because it's like your numbers are incredible. Your clients are getting are incredible, but your life is like matching the level of business, that you have built for yourself. And that's amazing, like that's everything. That's the whole point, is that. So I
You,
love
you,
you.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
You introduced me to this term years ago. I don't know if this is when I was doing group work with you or one-on-one, just about like your capacity for joy, your capacity to receive, whether it's joy or whether it's income. And I genuinely now, like it's February, I'm planning summer, and I'm like, okay, what would give me just like off the charts joy with my family? Like what experience getting ready to go celebrate my husband's 50th birthday in March? Like what would give me like off the chart experiences in terms of joy? Like where am I capping my joy, right? And
Yeah,
I think like that's been huge for me because that can translate into your business life and into family time. Like you can get
totally.
joy from your work.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Absolutely. And that's like when you grow your capacity for all of it, like the joy for everything, you can actually like enjoy the process of whatever it is that you're building, which is, you want to enjoy the process of all of it. So,
Yeah, fall in love with the process because you're always going to be in process.
yeah,
You're always going to be processing something.
you're never done. You're never done. And I'd love you to share, Rachel, just yeah, anything of what it's been like, I guess, working with me, of what's been helpful for you. Whatever you want to share. I know there's a lot, but
Where do I begin?
yeah, I know.
I think working with somebody who knows my inner landscape so deeply and so well and holds me and supports me and understands me and knows my like safety mechanisms and my responses and like
Yeah,
when I go quiet and when I'm in a little bit of overwork, like you call me out on it and you just kind of like like you're fishing, like you just reel me back in. I think that's been incredible. I think the way that you bring in the somatic work and confidence and like that deep sense of like embodied confidence in your body, the way you bring in meditation or breath work or movement with this like fierce business strategy, like that to me is like that's what I need. And like this, the water and the fire, like that to me has set you apart. It's truly been the catalyst to like my greatest personal growth on myself. Like having that support from like a spiritual perspective, that embodied confidence, and then that like world of like how do you launch a program? This is what
hmm
to do on a sales call. Like that
yeah,
business 101 fundamentals. Like I feel like I got an MBA in business like
yeah.
over the last couple of years working with you.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a yeah. Keep going. I'm open.
Yeah, and like the fact that we get to do it in community, like I think a lot of people are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I want one-on-one," but when you do it in community, like
Yeah,
Greg brings up all your stuff, and you also are really selective in terms of who you bring into your programs,
yeah,
and being able to do it in community, like it's absolutely like we have a call this week, and like I cannot wait
yeah,
for it, like.
yeah,
And there, I've gotten so much in terms of like connection and friendship with the other women in your groups. Like, there's one woman that like her and I will pace each other. Like, okay, what's your income for this month? What's mine? Like, we pace each other, not in this mean girls way, but in this really
yeah,
loving, supportive energy. And then there's other people that I've met that have like sent me a message on the right day where I just needed to hear something, or I've asked them for advice. Like, I just feel like I'm really held in this like wonderful like blanket of other women who are building businesses at the same time, and that has really been, it's just been so supportive, and I feel like it's made me feel that I could take bigger risks and show more of myself in my business because I had this like cheering squad just like around me throughout the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah. So it's amazing. And it's true. It's just like such a special group of women together, and I think in a lot of ways, like our business, like the group in some ways is a microcosm of the macro. And I think in a lot of ways, anywhere we hide in business, right, it shows up in that community setting. And it actually, the thing that I've found with community and, from Wealthy Woman and the mastermind is you actually create a safety of really going for what you want and really playing big, but being really true to yourself in the community. And it actually gives you the somatic capacity to be able to do that in your business because it's easy to write down a journal, but it's when we're with people is where we hesitate most of the time. And that's why I've seen it's like such a catalyst for everyone with their income and their growth and themselves is because it's actually creating that somatic safety that then it gives you, the freedom to be like, I can go for these big goals. I remember at the retreat, like sitting in the car with you and one of the other gals, and we were like, let's talk 500K $1 million years. What does that look like? And you're like, and I'm like, Rachel, you ready to go there? And you're like, okay, let's go. Like, talk to me about it. And like that was such a beautiful moment to like then also bring that conversation into the retreat with 20 other women and being able to say that out loud then allows you to actually like create more of that in your business because it really is that like doing it with people so that then when you go do it in the world it's so much easier.
100%. It's like a dress rehearsal. It's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
it's like a dress rehearsal to like use the language and like practice and play and go in a breakout room and like practice saying something or really allow yourself to be witnessed and seen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even
totally.
just the act of being witnessed and seen by somebody else who's on a similar path with pure presence, like that itself is just so empowering and so healing.
Yeah. It's impeccable. It's amazing. And I love how you show up in the group and all of it. How you like own yourself, bring the rawness. Like that's what I love also is just like the range of what's available in the group. We've had some like very raw, real like moments where you or other people, it's like, hey, this is like really personally what I'm navigating. And then also like, hey, I'm killing it with my numbers. Like, look at me and look at me. And, that just like, that's what I really love. I feel like it's a community where like everything gets acknowledged and celebrated as it comes up. And that's, such a gift. Such a gift.
100%. What do you love most about what you do?
I love it. Turn it back on me. I love this. This. It's having a life that has meaning and impact. I feel like business has given my life, there's meaning in being a person and being a mom and being a wife, but I feel like business has given me like true purpose beyond identities. Like mom, wife are like roles I play and I love them. Love them. But business is like a purpose beyond anything. And I think, I live by this quote years ago when it was actually before Cam and I ever got married, and I really wanted to get engaged. And I was like, what if he doesn't want me? And instead of, I finally let go of the grip of engagement, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a connection with myself so strong that if anybody ever leaves in my life, like I'm okay. Like if anything happened, if I lost anybody, and I feel like in a lot of ways, business is my outlet of like my connection to myself just gets to come through in my business, and it's impeccable. Like it's just, I always say, to you and to everyone, like it is such a gift to have a job that we get paid for that gives us meaning and purpose and impact. Like it is and we get paid 10 times more than anybody else in jobs that are like they're not even bringing their humanity into. So that's what I love about it.
I love that. I love that. And you've modeled that for me and you've taught me how to do that. Oh my gosh, I think of that like I just so desperately wanted to get engaged or I so desperately wanted to get married or I so desperately wanted my business to be successful and it was like that
Yeah.
type of thing and it's like It's meeting that need for yourself, meeting that enoughness so that you can go and operate and make decisions and choices and show up on Instagram or LinkedIn or speaking events or whatever, or even in your relationships with your closest humans from a place of like enoughness and fullness as opposed to like gripping and grasping for something outside of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what allows you to like love the game of business. You know, it's like loving the game of your own evolution. And in the process, what happens? We set up strategies, we focus more, we make more, we work with people we love working with more. Like everything in the business becomes easier, I find, when you really are having that inner direction, you know, an inner drive. It's like the strategy then becomes very simple. It's like, okay, great, we're launching your group, Rachel. Yes, this is what we're doing. Now we're giving you enough runway so you can go to Barbados with the fam, you know, and like all of it. And it's like, it's so simple though. Like the strategy becomes so simple when like the purpose and the meaning is so strong. It's like, it's so clear what steps to take. And then it's so easy to actually execute on that.
That's probably one of my favorite things about working with you is whether I'm showing up for a mastermind call or, you know, flying to LA, which I have done many times to do like an in-person workshop with you,
Yeah.
or even like just sending you a quick message on Slack. And when I'm stuck, you simplify it for me every single time.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, because it's just fear and it's just worry and overwhelm that keeps me in busy. And your
totally.
ability to just simplify it and be like, here are the steps that you need to take, that has been like so powerfully, like, just clarifying for me over the last couple of years.
Amazing. Yeah. That's well, yeah. It's an honor. Like I mean, you know we have a special connection and you will always be that person. And yeah, it's always just like every message I get from you and every like tangible money win to I'm so proud of how I'm showing, like all of it is just it's such a gift. It's like such a gift to see your journey and be a part of it. And so in every aspect of it, it's like that's really what makes me so happy and feel like I'm doing what I'm here to do, you know?
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. So I'll leave it to you. Is there if there's any last thing, anything that's on your heart to share before we close out?
Yeah, just that it's all for you. Whatever you're trying to
Hmm.
build in terms of your business or your personal life, it's all for you. Just work with it. Just keep moving with it and keep getting curious about what you really want to be building, like what your big impact is. And then dream like 2 inches bigger than you're comfortable
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just go for it and bring a team with you. Like literally bring a spiritual team, an energetic team, like a tangible business coach, like your
Hmm.
support, your employees you hire, like bring your team with you and go after it. And it is, oh my God, like if I could go back and say to myself 5 years ago, like just keep going. Like it is all
Yeah.
possible. And I cannot wait to see what the next few years bring for both of us.
It's amazing. So amazing. Well, thank you, Rachel, so much for just sharing and bringing your fullness and your heart and you and your story. I'm sure we'll be doing another one of these in like a year and hear where life has taken you then. So
Okay.
until then, thank you again. And for anyone, yeah, if you want any incredible leadership coaching, Rachel is impeccable, impeccable, impeccable. I stand 100% behind what she does. So you can go find her. And thank you again, Rachel.
Thank you. So good to see you. Mwah. Bye.